Welcome back to Switch to Linux. My price for the hand sanitizer has gone up because I have confirmed here in State College there is no hand sanitizer anywhere. I've never seen empty shelves at Walmart before, but there is empty shelves at Walmart because of the hand sanitizer. Oh boy. So, all right. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
So
I'm fine.
Quint's got to be careful.
Yeah.
They've got 2 cases of coronavirus down there.
Yeah.
Of course, pizza's
thankfully
just done. I mean,
Thankfully, the people who have the coronavirus are quarantined in their house. They can't leave, so chances of me getting it are very slim.
yeah, they'll probably leave at some point. So we've had about, I think it's about 60 more cases since midnight last night here in the United States. So, we'll just do the coronavirus update. Why not, right?
I need to look that up.
And so, and I did call something. I joked about it last night. It's my fault. I said, because there's another cruise ship infested with coronavirus floating towards California as we speak. And I said, let's just send them all to Vegas because whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, just 2 cases cropped up in Vegas. So it's my fault. Maybe somebody listened. I don't know. Well, it's 1 case in Vegas, it looks like. So, kind of fun. What's my general thoughts about it? I'm having more fun making fun of it. I don't think it's going to be this major, massive threat necessarily.
Yeah, there's still only 2 cases in my county.
Yeah, I did see
there's a bunch in New York, and I'm sure they're along the West Coast. Yeah, there's a lot over by Seattle and
yeah, that New York one's kind of frightening me because that's pretty close to us. However, I'm predicting we're going to see our first case here in State College around the 25th of March. So this is the last week of classes at Penn State before spring break. Next week is spring break, and the college students are going to go spread far and wide among wide populations of people and do really stupid, unprotected, and unsafe things. And then they're all going to converge back to the town. And when they come back to the town, everyone's going to be asymptomatic for 2 weeks, and we're going to have a massive explosion of it show up connected to the Penn State University. So what am I doing differently? Not a lot, honestly. I did get some extra food supplies, not because I think there's going to be some major crisis, just because I think that some people are going to go crazy and it's going to be harder to get some things. But and I do still have hand sanitizer. I will be auctioning off the hand sanitizers. I have the full 2-ounce bottle, and I have about 1 ounce in this little bottle here. So prices are going up. So go ahead.
My mom told me that one of her friends went to Costco, and they saw a bunch of there were tons of people in Costco wearing face masks, and they were buying huge pallets of bottled water.
I don't get it. I just
It's Costco. It's Costco. All right.
I can confirm, though, I did start counting the people at Walmart today that had bottles of water and toilet paper overflowing in their carts. And it was a lot. And I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I did something different. I bought ramen noodles. I don't usually keep stuff like that laying around, but I bought some.
Ramen noodles are disgusting, and I don't know why you like them.
Yeah.
I can eat it. Honestly, I don't complain what I eat. I just either eat it and I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I do care is my health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Well, can I interest you in some hand sanitizer? $100? $100? $100? It only expired in, what did we say, 2011? So it's only 9 years expired. Because, I use hand sanitizer all the time. Okay. In fact, I actually believe that the massive overuse of hand sanitizer is actually what led to a lot of our issues because you're killing everything. The only thing that's allowed to live then is superbugs. But if you don't kill everything except the superbugs, then the bacterial food gets eaten up by the stuff that's actually fairly innocuous. And so that's actually why there's some states have actually banned hand sanitizers or soaps outside of medical purposes and, and anesthetic type purposes. So And frankly, when the times were around that hand sanitizer did not exist, we were actually healthier as a population, which is interesting thoughts and feelings. So we are at 2 people right now because Vince seems to have possibly contracted the Kung flu, and he is sitting out. Tech is out, although he says it's not Kung flu related. But I am seeing some cases that are nearby his state, so be careful there, Tech. Be careful. The Kung flu may be coming for you. So anyway. We are talking about recycling e-waste. Go ahead, Quint.
Yeah, here's the quarantine. I don't have permission to view the message history of it, but I'm in the channel.
You should have full permissions in the quarantine part.
But yeah, I do have the role though.
Yeah. So you are quarantined on the Discord server. So if you head on over to the Discord server, we do have a quarantine section. I was thinking about making it that anybody in the quarantine section can't comment anywhere else, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think that'd be more detrimental. But we are monitoring here on live chat. So Vince says, TP mask, check, $200 sanitizer, check. All right, so I'm good. I'm covered. I have lots of toilet paper. I have my hand sanitizer. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Well, I got a lot of isopropyl alcohol. So that's going to do something, I guess.
Oh, boy. Yeah. All right. We are talking about recycling e-waste and the disposable culture today. And, of course, everybody that sent me the cool articles we're going to cover end up coming down with the Kung flu. So we are we'll be flying in. I did scan through the articles where I could. One of them was paywalled, but I was able to get around that with some JavaScript Kung fu. And so we can at least look at some text, although it's not a very attractive looking article. Let's see. We got Rumi 2. How's it going there? Only here for the hippocampus. Okay. Let's see. We got Sleepy's on. I have a feeling this might be an explosive episode. Phone the fire brigade. All right. Let's see. Jeff Kelly, greetings. Okay. Let's see. John's there. Steel/Vegas gag. There you go. Yep. I don't believe it or not, bet on the numbers of corona-infected people. We can get this STL branded hand sanitizer. I mean, only for me, and it's limited edition. I mean, well, maybe we'll auction it off at the end, you know? All right, just boil the water sheets. That's the thing for me. Oh yeah, don't encourage me. Vince encouraged me yesterday, and we ended up going on with a toilet paper mask today. We'll be good today. Let's see. Hand sanitizers bloat. I agree. I mean, that's why I've had this stuff. Like, I went digging around in my closets looking for it when I had a client call me from Los Angeles yesterday going, I can't find hand sanitizer anywhere. I told her I'll go into the store. If I can find some, I'll send it to you. Nope, can't find any. Let's see. Been doing hand sanitizers here at home. It's H1N1. It's 3 parts alcohol, 1 parts Vero cream. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's it. Everybody's kung fu sneezing. Toilet paper's bloat. Yeah, maybe. Hippocampus. Yeah, I got a cat's over here. He stole my chair. The cat stole my chair. He's down here.
What chair are you in now? Do you have 2 chairs?
Oh, I have a little folding chair here. So, I usually use the folding chair for the other channel because it works better with the green screen. So, all right. So let's go ahead and have a look at the articles, shall we? Oh, wait, hold on. Before we do that, I want to head on over to this. I want to see if all of this talk about the Kung flu has managed to get us demonetized yet. It's a test. We're not demonetized. That's good. We are still ad supported as of right now.
Yeah, we should say the the CV word or something like
Well,
that.
if you just say Kung Flu, they don't know what you're talking about. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
All right. So what started this one here on recycling and e-waste and stuff like this, if I can find my articles. There we are. Are we good? We are good. So it started this one here as I found this article here, and I had 3 articles. I'm like, I don't know which one to do, but more people wanted to do the recycling than anything else, and then nobody showed up for that. No, I think World of Linux. I think you recommended this one too. So
Yeah.
here's the issue that we have, and we expanded this on to look at. I think the biggest problem isn't the electronics, it's our disposable culture surrounding the electronics. There was a day, you guys are probably too young to remember the VCR repairman. You had a VCR.
However, I did repair. I repaired my own VCRs. I actually went inside and repaired some stuff. So I
Nice.
actually.
So
kinda
you know what you're talking about. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Quint, do you know what a VCR is?
I do. I know what a VCR is,
Okay.
and I know that the main thing I know about them is that you can't set the time on it, and it's always flashing 12 o'clock.
No, you can set the time on it. You just got to know how.
Yeah.
It was just our mothers
There's a lot of
couldn't figure out how to
mechanical
set the
parts.
time. Yeah, there are a ton of mechanical parts. So if you've ever opened
I've
up a
never
cassette
actually looked
tape,
Yeah, I've never
so
looked inside one
so
before.
in a cassette tape, you know, the cassette had like it had like a press thing with a little
I know how that
sponge on the
works.
bottom, and then the head would go in and touch that and run across it. Well, a VCR is much more complicated. It opens up and it actually unwraps the tape all around like 8 gears and then plays it all around these 8 gears. So it causes a giant mess if the whole thing goes bad. And so back in the day, you'd have your device and then you'd get it repaired and it would be out at the repair shop for about a week or so. And then that's kind of what you were doing there is you just, you know, have it out and you go a week without your movies. So you're going, nah, I can't watch my movies. Got to watch, TV right about the time we were still only like 30 channels. Now there's like 150 channels and you still can't find anything to watch. But when there's 30 channels, you can find something to watch. So nowadays, though, we throw things out more than anything. You buy a little disposable DVD player, it goes bad. Instead of fixing it, you just toss it out and buy another one. Part of this is the cost is driven down. You know,
like Apple, where they say, "Oh, the screen broke on this computer." You can either repair the screen for $1,000 or pay $1,200 and get a new computer.
yeah,
And obviously, you're gonna get the new computer.
correct. And so
Yeah.
one of the problems of this disposable culture is these things have lithium-ion batteries. And many of the new devices can't even get the lithium-ion batteries out to dispose of them. And so you just, I mean, what do? Do you go down and go through the difficulty of figuring out where and how to dispose of this thing? Of course you don't. You throw it in the trash can. And so what happens is these things land in different places where they're crushed and they're compacted. And when you crush and compact lithium-ion batteries, they have a tendency of exploding. And so what this is talking about here is, so it starts in December 2016, so we're a few years old now. A Texas recycling plant burst into flames. So they had some batteries. They were crushed out, but it didn't have enough oxygen. So it was a pile of chemicals just waiting to catch on fire. As soon as they dispersed the garbage, exposed it to oxygen, the whole place just went boom, huge, massive fire, burnt the whole place down. They were only able to keep it contained for a couple of hours. Like they kept it contained for 12 hours, but the whole thing was a complete loss. And so this has become a regular problem in recycling centers and in trash compactors. Just, unless you're sending it explicitly to the incinerators, then you're going to have some fire issues. And so this is one of these consequences. Ooh, look at this. We have a video. Watch the fire rover eliminate a large MRT tipping floor fire. Let's mute this guy so that we don't have anything going on. So there's some IR. It looks like we have some infrared indicating what's going on here. Like, whoa, we got some fire. All right, so here they're putting it out. And it gets back on fire inside this nice, wonderful, lovely building. Isn't this glorious? So it looks like they did get this one a little under control. So the infrared cameras here are definitely helping spot the hot spots and spot the fires as they're in there. But you can see how the camera here is getting really orange, this means that the whole room is getting hot. If it reaches a certain temperature, it will hit a flash point where everything will just suddenly, boom, catch on fire. So the flash point in a fire is when it gets hot enough to spontaneously ignite other things around it. You get to that flash point, you have no choice but to leave. Let the whole thing burn to the ground, and then you just prevent other buildings from burning down if you possibly can. And so, no, we don't want to see it again. Thank you. It was cool enough the first time. And so the challenge we have is with all of these lithium-ion batteries jumping in. All right, Pizza, I think you should have the link there so Pizza can jump on, it looks like. All right. He's going to jump out of quarantine. Everybody grab your masks and your hand sanitizer. Pizza's jumping on.
I guess I have aluminum foil.
Oh, sure. That'll work. Just do an aluminum foil mask. There you go.
just put it right there.
My tinfoil hat fell apart. The aluminum
No!
on it, so.
We'll have to do another
seriously.
supporters tinfoil hat stream sometime.
Oh, no.
That would be pretty epic. All right.
One thing I do have, speaking of old tech that I have reused, I have an iPod on my desk right here that I have put music on.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very classic. All right. World of Linux is working on a tinfoil hat. There you go.
Well, yeah, definitely. I'm trying. And also have like an iPod Nano or something like that.
Well, you're looking for that. Let's talk about. Oh, actually, let's do an update story. So Sonos reversed itself on the recycle mode. All right.
Still works.
No, hold on a second. So Sonos reversed itself on the recycling mode, where if you remember this, we reported on it in the news a few weeks back, where, hold on, I may double check that I dropped that link in there. Okay, yeah, Pete said it's in the supporter link on the board, so I couldn't remember if I dropped it there or not. Anyway, so we reported this a few weeks back where Sonos had this recycling mode. You enable it, you get a 30% discount, but then the thing goes into a 21 countdown mode where it self-destructs. Now, they came out like, well, this is to make sure it's securely wiped, to make sure that it will, all the customer data is off of it. They just started saying that afterwards, kind of after the fact, when people are like, this is a stupid idea because it prevents these things from being used, recycled, sold anywhere else. So now they're, I don't know if there's a way to get one of these out of recycling mode, but they have stopped offering the recycling mode. You can still get the 30% discount on a newer device, but the thing will no longer become inoperable, so you can actually still use it or pass it on to somebody else or send it back to Sonos, where they'll probably just throw it away. But, all right, Quint, go ahead.
One thing, this is a little bit unrelated, but when we redid our other house, we got an AV system installed, and the AV people install Sonos now. Mm-hmm. They put speakers in the ceiling, and it's connected to a Sonos amplifier. That's the way they do all their music now.
Wow. So is it the older ones that will just kind of stop functioning after a while, or what?
No, this is one of the. It's called a Sonos amp, is what it's called.
Okay.
It's basically a Sonos amplifier that has speaker terminals on the back, and they connect it to the ceiling speakers. Mm-hmm. But that's what AV companies install now. They don't install like typical AV systems. It's all Sonos now.
Yeah. Which, I guess, I mean, if the speakers will never die out, but you just got to think back to, so the speakers I have in my system right now, right? So I originally got them, I think it was like an old Zenith system. And I remember when I was going to the store to get it, because at that time I still had big component stereos from high school. Like I was big into music, so I had these massive stereo, like each components, big racks, like amazing sound stuff. And so I'm like, I'm this point right now where I'm in grad school. I'm probably going to have a temporary job here, a temporary job there. I'm going to move around a lot. I said, I want to cut back to something else. So I sold all that stuff to get one little compact thing. And I'm buying a Zenith thing from a Circuit City, if you guys remember what a Circuit City is. So, and I remember when I was going in there buying it, and this guy's like, these speakers are so crappy, they'll break inside of a month. Yeah, I still have the speakers. The device is long gone. I still have the speakers. They sound great. They're totally awesome. And they're going on, I think I did that maybe 2002. So we're going on 18 years I've had those speakers running, and they sound amazingly perfect and good. So can you imagine a Sonos smart speaker lasting 18 years?
These aren't Sonos speakers though. Like these, the ceiling. It's the speaker in the ceiling, like you see in
So
restaurants.
as long as they don't have smart components, that's
they
cool.
don't.
That's what you do.
The way these work, just a speaker in the ceiling, and there's a wire that runs down and connects to the Sonos box.
Yeah, those are fairly standard. So, yeah. And so what's going on here now is the problem is we have so much smart technology and we're throwing it out. We're not reusing it. So let's talk and pivot here on the best ways to reuse and prevent stuff from hitting the landfills first.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do on that? So Quint, you're buying some used phones now and refurbing used phones, right?
I don't really refurbish them. I have an old Pixel inside the cabinet over there that I used to test my ROM. It was one, I think I bought it off of eBay, and it probably was about to be thrown away, to be honest, because it's like that condition where there's issues with the screen. It can't make any calls, but it's perfect for what I do. Battery doesn't last long, but for what I use it for, it works fine.
Mm-hmm.
Any normal person would just throw that away.
Yeah.
Correct. So
thing with all these, go ahead.
No, I use Nexus 5X phones. I have 4 of them, give and take various different parts, so that I can always have at least 1 or 2 functional ones at any given time. So if something goes bad, I can just pop a SIM or swap a part or things like that. And so doing those basic things to keep garbage out of the landfills is definitely the thing that we should be looking at doing. We need to get away from this disposable culture. So, I mean, even this, a friend of mine upgraded the computer and it's like, hey, what do we do with this one? So I took the computer, which was running Windows 7, I wiped it, I put Peppermint on it, and we're going to be giving it back to her to give up to a friend who doesn't have a computer. So there we're keeping another laptop out of a landfill by refurbing it up with Peppermint. And when we get that guy refurbed up with Peppermint, then we're going to, get that back to her and, have a good computer so she doesn't need to buy one. She doesn't need anything more than just email or internet type stuff. And so with that, that's a great way to keep stuff out of the landfills as well. Just refurb and, running Linux is a great thing to do. ROMs. So Nexus 5X is still being security supported by Lineage, although Google gave up on it a long time back.
Speaking of my phone, the Essential went out of business last month, and they pushed the last security update a couple weeks ago. But I'm still getting security updates because I'm on Lineage.
Yep. So Lineage keeps supporting phones for a while, which is good.
Yeah. I got many electronics that are old, but I'm still using. Of course, this iPod, I don't use it very much, but it still works, and I can still connect it through my speaker system, like a small radio, and it still works and everything. I got a Nintendo Wii, like a old Nintendo Wii console right on the side. I got a late 2012 iMac, which a few days ago I upgraded to an SSD because the hard drive was kind of failing. And although Apple products are kind of a little bit hard to repair, and I did get a little bit cracks on the screen, which isn't too bad, it still works fine. So now I'm sure that this Mac would last a very long time. And I also have a big hi-fi system, like a complete set of hi-fi equipment from 1983. So I got the speakers, I got the cassette deck, the vinyl, and everything. And after 38 years, it still works, and I haven't even had to go inside and repair it.
Yeah.
My
that old stuff is good. So Spiva on Discord says, have any of you tried to build your own custom ROM for privacy? Yes, Quint has. So Quint, talk about your ROM.
I haven't had much time to work on it, and there isn't really anything that needs to be worked on it. As what the other guy who I work on it with created a script that automatically updates the apps from F-Droid. They're bundled in, so there's not really any point of me working on it right now.
Okay, cool.
All security patched and everything. What I was saying, though, is that my grandfather has an old Sui amplifier from 1978, I think, that's still great. And I think it sounds better than any amplifier you buy now.
Yes.
Yeah, the old equipment was way better. All right, so we got some comments here. Refurbing is a fantastic way of recycling. Yes. I'm going to look it up. Thanks. Let's see. British doctor gives updates every day. Dr. John Campbell. John Campbell. Is that the guy? One of the guys I remember? I can't remember. But anyway, let's see. Problem is lithium-ion batteries have a limited lifespan. We need better technology that can refurb batteries. Or, hey, just the ability to replace a battery. One of the challenges with the Nexus 5X is the quality of the battery is very easy to break, and the amount of tape that they use, you break more batteries trying to swap a battery on a Nexus 5X than you will fix. It's not like an Apple battery where Lewis Ross one day pounds the stuff. You know, an Apple battery, you gotta do something stupid to puncture an Apple battery. Nexus 5X batteries, no, they break pretty easy. I've actually had a number of them break trying to just swap the batteries because they put so much tape on the back. It's like the whole thing is closed, and then there's 12 screws holding the battery down. You don't need glue. You don't need it.
The thing with the Essential phone, though, is that it's really hard to get in the phone without making some screen damage.
Yeah, and that's a big problem with that phone. So maybe it's a good thing the company went under, so they stopped making phones that you can't repair.
Remember how they tried to make that phone, that weird little phone? You remember that?
The modular one?
Yeah, no, it wasn't modular. It looked like an iPod. It looked like that iPod that you have where it's kind of skinny. You remember that? We did it a couple.
Yeah. It looked like a remote control. Yeah.
They tried to push that out, but they didn't have a method of distribution. Like it all kind of went under, and then they just shut down. So the company's out of business now.
Yeah, so Vince does say here, the components of, for example, a lead acid battery can all be recycled and reused. So lead acid is actually pretty good. In fact, that's what's powering my lights here. In fact, I have a big old lead acid battery right there behind the dolphin. Hi, Katie.
Yeah, lead by itself might be very toxic, but apparently it's recyclable.
Yeah. So if I'm going crazy, it's just there's lead fumes in my office. It's all good, you know.
Why do you power stuff from the battery and not from your wall outlets?
Just some experimentation. Some of it just getting things going. Some of it's just, hey, saving a little bit of power. I had all the components set aside to do a solar component system. Why not use it? You know, I mean, otherwise it's just sits there not being used. So you may as well use it. And
I don't have any of that stuff. So
so
it's not really.
With this, I just have a 200-watt solar panel, just a simple charge controller. What's my battery? My one battery is I think a 900 watt hour. It's 200 watt hour in the one. I think the other one might be 900. So I have two batteries laying around. Very similar setup, but then what we did is we actually wired two outlets into that battery system on independent switches. So I actually do have wall switches which can control them. So we basically just need to turn on the inverter and then you can control the wall switches. So that's kind of what
I'm honestly curious how much power we use, especially since in the closet in front of me, there's a big beefy server rack and a tower server that run 24/7.
Well, you can get a device that will plug in and it will give you all the power readouts.
Hey guys, Corona Kid here.
Hey, what's going on, Pizza? You survived most of the week so far. That's good.
Yes.
All right, and Pizza, you have the most insane stupidity update on the American education system. You want to share that story?
Okay.
Before we get back to topic, we'll get back to topic here in a minute. This is just this makes me just question the entire sanity of the school district. Go ahead.
All right. So a smoke bomb went off at my school, and in my journalism class, I decided to write an article. Is my mic better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I decided to write an article for it for my journalism class, and I decided to interview Tom since he has a PhD in toxicology. I turn it in, and my teacher reads it and doesn't accept it because he said something about since I said that the amount of sulfur from the smoke bomb was could be toxic. He said I could have spreaded panic through the school or something. It was really dumb.
Yeah. So.
And
yeah,
I
go ahead.
actually talked to the guy who set it off, and I now have the exact what the smoke bomb was and everything. So
What was it? A smoke bomb or was it a stink bomb?
it was a smoke bomb. It's called a smoke ball.
Yeah. Was it your standards? Well, I mean, it could have been one of those standard smoke bombs because those push out a ton of smoke.
It's a smoke ball from TNT.
Hmm.
I'm honestly glad that I go. I'm honestly glad I go to a small school, so I don't have to deal with stuff like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he didn't get expelled. He got suspended for 3 days, but then the person who wrote a gun threat in the girls' bathroom got expelled. So an empty threat, you get expelled, but then setting off a smoke bomb, you get 3 days of suspension.
Oh my god, it's just cringe. Just the logic and everything doesn't make sense. That's so cringe right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, homeschool your children. All right, let's get back on topic here.
Yeah.
So the other end of the problem with this disposable culture is, where does all these components come from? I mean, it comes out of that amazing Apple factory, but it doesn't just pop out. Well, you got to have various elements. So cobalt and lithium are two places. So what we're seeing here is the cobalt pipeline. So going through the Congo is where they're mining the components for all these types of things. And so you're grabbing the various components and you're basically going in. And remember that all that strip mining that was all bad and going to destroy the planet? Yeah, we're just strip mining basically for all these things. So we're going in and we're just, raping the landscape to get all of the individual components that we need to put everything together. And then you get a company like Apple where instead of fixing or recycling, they take it and they run it through a shredder so nobody can use anything useful off of it. And then they just dump it all. And then it's just like, yeah, we're going to run out of this stuff if we're not a little bit more sustainable in how we do things. So this is some information about the Congo, and we had another one from Bolivia. The Bolivia one was fun because this is all mined inside of an old salt flat. So if you've ever been through the salt flats in Utah, very similar, except what I liked about this one is the salt flats. Oh, where's that quote at? It's so glorious. Got to find it now. Okay, so the salt flats have been regarded as not too much more than a geographic anomaly. According to a local myth, the Salar salt flats formed from the breast milk and salted tears that flowed from Tunupa, a volcano looming over it, who cried when her two daughters were kidnapped. So apparently the volcano's milk and tears made the lithium. So we are all powering our devices off of the milk and tears of a sad volcano. So just something to keep in mind.
Well, that's great.
So, so this is the challenge, is that we have to do some pretty extensive mining in some very specialized regions in order to get all of the components to make all these devices. So not only are we are risking burning places down, the recycling is not there. The ability to recycle the lithium ions batteries is not particularly good. But then the creation and the distribution. This is why the smart car thing is necessarily, not just the smart, but the electronic car thing is kind of problematic. Is it's just we are going, if we're concerned about running out of oil, we should be infinitely more concerned about running out of lithium ion batteries. That is far more rare components.
Well, they have graphite batteries, right? Those are new technology.
Yeah, they are. I haven't heard how they're doing quite yet, but there's that. Did anybody have any other comments from the articles? I know the people that wanted to go through these articles in more detail were not able to make it, but anybody have any other comments about the articles here?
Yeah, but honestly, the biggest problem with recycling is the technology and how we're doing everything by hand. The only way that we would be able to process so many metals and actually be able to separate it is with AI and robots. That's actually a good use for AI and robots in general, and some companies are already working on that. But that's the only good use that I'm thinking about AI and how it can help. But yeah, doing everything manually, doing it with humans and everything doesn't work quite right.
Yeah.
For our purposes.
Rex Warden says, e-waste recycling in China. Dig a massive hole, bury everything that can't be easily stripped with a heat gun or bare hands. Okay, see? There's recycling. And then we can just dig it up in 100 years or so, Reuse it after that. Comes down to custom ROMs. Is it worth trying to build for an older devices to keep them alive? That's, I think, one of the downsides is that sometimes you just can't necessarily get stuff for the older devices. So Linux can rejuvenate an old computer, but it's really is getting hard to rejuvenate an old phone, especially since many phones don't have unlockable bootloaders as it is.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Then here's another good use for AI. The AI would actually be able to determine how to program for the phone by randomly generating code or something. Like, it would actually be possible. Just thinking about a bunch of ideas of how to solve those problems, especially with like very old devices, like my Nintendo Wii, which clearly Nintendo isn't supporting anymore. I actually was able to hack it and put homebrew and everything, and I was able to reconnect it to the internet. And now most of the stuff that used to not work because Nintendo shut down everything works again because the community reverse engineered almost everything that was from Nintendo Wii, and I was able to hack in everything, and now it's usable again. So that's an example. It's usually reverse engineering old devices and seeing how they work and how to program for it. So
yeah.
That's kind of a solution for that.
Somebody needs to figure out how to brute force a bootloader unlock on phones that can't be unlocked.
That's something I think we need. I think that, we're trying to push all these tech laws and things for the betterment of our children. We might actually have an entire section on new government laws being proposed on the Weekly News Roundup. You guys want to see me do that? Yeah. There's a couple interesting ones. We got and they all have pithy names. We got the Earn It Act. The Earn It Act. We got is it the Kids Online Act or something? And I think I encountered 3 without actually looking for them. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, because as long as I can unlock my bootloader and have more control over my individual device, that's exactly what I want. Like, ooh, you might void the warranty. Good. I don't care. I've never went through a warranty replacement anyway, so why not,
What if there was a law that required all phones to have an unlockable bootloader? What do you think Apple's response would be to that?
Buy out a politician.
Or I think they'd stop selling. I think they'd sell like a custom version in that country, and then elsewhere it doesn't have an unlockable bootloader.
By the way, I think years ago there was actually a leak on GitHub about the bootloader code that was leaked a few years ago, and it kind of exposed a lot of the code that Apple used inside bootloaders, which is why that they were kind of able to bypass some iPhone restrictions. That was like years ago, but there was actually a leak from that. Then Apple, they tried everything in their power to make sure that code didn't spread anywhere else, because that was their code and it would unlock a lot of stuff. So yeah, definitely Apple doesn't want any of it. But as long as we have the code and as long as we can reverse engineer it, there's nothing that they can do. But they're really trying to make it hard with their T2 chip that encrypts and everything.
Yeah. So, okay, Vince just mentioned something here and made a reminder of something else from the article. One of the issues with all this mining is, if you guys remember, now there was a movie that popularized called Blood Diamond. I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio, right? So, where they're talking about you can get ethically sourced diamonds and you can get unethically sourced diamonds where it's really slavery being used. Well, there's a lot of these places slavery being used to powder this. So all of these guys, and slavery, we gotta go back and fix what our ancestors did 150 years ago because of slavery. Literally, they're saying this and tweeting this from the phones that were literally assembled with slavery in our modern day era.
Well, damn.
Okay, and so this is one of the things that Vince writes here. Not hating on the devices, just be mindful of the real cost of where the devices come from, reminding us that there's environmental concerns, slavery concerns, and war costs in making your little Apple devices. So,
Well, I'm just going to say those people saying to end all slavery, they have good intentions. They probably don't realize that their iPhone's made out of that stuff. So maybe they should... Maybe they should pass a law saying on the back that the law forces electronics with unethical manufacturing to say unethically manufactured or something.
Yeah, and that's good. This phone may have been assembled with the purpose of slaves. I mean, that would be a good selling point for Apple. Of course, they'd spin it. They'd spin it. We'll have you your slavery-free version. It's going to cost you $2,000 instead. You can have the slavery version or the non-slavery version. What's that?
I said Librem 5 USA.
Yeah, I was trying not to make that joke personally. Oh, boy.
Can I say my thoughts on the whole article here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically what I think is that I think you need to try to reuse as much as possible. If you go on eBay, you can find all sorts of used phones that are great for testing that a normal person would just throw away. Like my Pixel with the screen burn in, the battery that lasts like 5 minutes, and it can't make calls, and the speakers sometimes don't work. It has all those issues, but it works perfectly for what I need it to do, and that's just to make sure my ROM works.
Yep. Skybear says, talk about reducing e-waste. Commodore products are still running after 30 years. Very good. But that's good points. Keeping an old device around that may not have a functional battery just for the purpose of testing things is a valid use.
Yeah. Other thing is, a lot of us have so many old devices laying around. Like I have another iPod too. I have this one, and then I have another one. This is a great device. All you have to do to get these working on Linux is you have to throw up a Windows VM with iTunes in it, format it, and then after that, just plug it into Rhythmbox, and Rhythmbox recognizes it, and you can load your music on it.
Nice.
So
I have lots of, no judging my music library, by the way, but I have lots of music on here.
Is there Hannah Montana on there?
What?
Hannah Montana?
No,
Hannah
Montana.
No Hannah Montana. All right.
I got this iPhone 4.
Nice.
This looks perfectly fine, except my this is my step grandma. She tried to repair it. She tried to replace the battery on it by herself, and she broke the back. and then she gave it to me. So I have a video idea. I'm gonna try and use this as my main phone for a week, and I'm gonna have to tape the back on.
Just get a case or something that snaps on.
Or I could just use tape. That's free.
You could just super glue it on.
I don't think I have super glue.
Yeah.
I like a lot of singer-songwriters. You guys probably wouldn't know many of my bands.
Only half of it's broken. It's still connected on the bottom.
So it looks like she tried to pry it up without realizing there's screws down there.
Yeah. That is what happened.
So if Sleepy says $2,000 instead, they're going to start discounting? Of course they're going to discount,
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go tape it right now because I also bought a SIM adapter for this video, and then I never made it.
Nice. Nestle Quick says, produced with forced labor of indigenous populations. Their suffering makes it even more chocolatey delicious.
Oh,
Yeah, Nestle
yeah.
tried to build a water factory in town here, and we kind of sent them boot, and we got another student complex instead.
Oh, um, for
Be
so
right back.
so, I know it's about recycling, but I still got a new phone. So this was my old phone that I think I showed you a couple. It's got very special. I'm still going to be using it specifically for audio, but now I got a new phone that actually has two screens on it.
Oh yeah, got one of them. I think I saw that floating around
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
How useful is it?
Actually, it's really useful, especially what I'm doing. I can go on Discord, I go on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I can actually have a full keyboard on it. So if I flip it like this, I can have a full keyboard.
Huh.
So that
Nice.
screen is only used for that application, and then the entire bottom screen is just for the keyboard. So it's really
Nice.
useful. I use it now to actually make documents on the go
Hmm.
now.
And who's that by?
Because it's LG.
LG. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the
So
one where one of the screens will come off?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's that one, so I could actually take it and well, just be gentle, and then I should be able to take the phone off, and it's just a phone by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it's
the
just
other
like
side
accessory.
is the other side does not function then?
So the other side is just like a small screen, so really it's
Hmm.
just like a
Okay.
screen right
Okay.
there, and then in front there's
Yeah.
a little tiny screen. But
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
it's a accessory and everything. So it's really useful. And I did disable some Google services. I'm still logged in inside Google, but I did do some modifications a little bit. Oh,
Hmm.
and apparently LG kind of listened, and you're able to remove the bloatware. So on stock Android or OEM devices, you can't remove any applications. You can only disable them.
Yeah.
Well, LG listened, and you can actually uninstall most of the applications.
That's good. So it's kind of like buying a old Dell or HP computer from Best Buy, right? You bring it home, you spend the first 3 hours uninstalling bloatware.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, so definitely, I was thinking about selling the phone, but then I realized that it still works perfectly fine. The battery is very decent, so I'm just gonna be using it for audio kind of thing to just play music
Hmm.
because this phone is very special because it has a 32-bit, 192 kilohertz uh, digital to analog converter,
Hmm.
which is really good for audio. So I'm just gonna be using that. So
Nice.
if you have old phones, that's good. Just find another purpose for it. So this phone is just specifically for music now.
Yeah, that's a good valid use for things.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right,
I
let's
just
see.
added the tape.
All right, nice.
It looks a
Let's see if
bit
there's
better with the
anything
tape.
else we have here. So we looked at the recycling, we looked at the sourcing and regenerating old stuff. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
think about the ways, look for the e-waste that you have and think about ways to put it back into some type of circulation. So, other fun ideas, if you have an old computer laying around, you can throw like LibreElect or something like that on it, and you can actually then plug that into your TV and have a full media center attached to your TV. So, you could do something like that with it. There's you can turn some into video game systems. Junky old computers with with running pretty new Linux on it. So a lot of cool things that you can do just to keep stuff out of the trash cans. So.
Yeah.
One of the other things is if you're like me and you have Bluetooth headphones, but you have an old iPod like this, pick up one of these $20 Bluetooth adapters. You simply just plug this into the iPod's headphone jack right
Yep.
here, and then you connect your headphones to this, and you have a Bluetooth iPod.
Nice.
And
So
it uses the
that's what
energy.
you gotta have. That's what you're running around at school with, right? You got the old classic
No.
iPod.
Yeah.
I should, but I don't.
You
Most of my music's on my phone anyways. But
Yeah,
I just thought it was
yeah.
cool just to put the music on the iPod here.
Yeah.
That's a neat thing to do.
All right, I am excited to do this. I
Uh,
got my SIM card right here. Gonna put it in this adapter.
He's gonna boot up the iPhone 4. That was the first iPhone I had, the iPhone 4. That's
Other thing,
man,
is it an
7 years
unlocked
ago.
phone, Pizza?
Nope, it's locked to AT&T, but that's fine because that's the carrier I have.
Old
Okay, yeah.
PSU plus
Yeah.
$2 eBay board and make power supplies for board, giving the kids to experiment. Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
we don't. Our Goodwill
Here we
does
go.
not sell computer stuff. They'll sell some like stereo stuff, but we don't sell. Actually, no. They sell a couple weird random odds and ends. This is hilarious. So when my main media PC, the PSU unit went out, right? I went to the local the surplus store. They have a pile of PSUs, but they're all the Dell PSUs, which are different form factor and cable factor than most of your standard computers that size. It's like, well, that's a bummer. That won't work. So I'm walking around Goodwill, and they have for $5 a PSU supply unit there. I'm like, really? Let's take that bad boy home. Perfect. Got my media PC back up and running with the $5. And I bet the Goodwill people are like, I don't even know what this is. Throw $5 on it. Throw it on the shelf in the corner over there. Nobody, it'll at least be there for all eternity. Sold within a week. Like, what? Who? When? Just getting my old PC back.
Yeah. Yeah, like. Yeah.
It just occurred to me, how am I gonna listen to music when I use Apple Music for music on this phone?
I have
VLC.
my family has Apple Music too. There's actually a really good Apple Music is actually one of the streaming services I will happily recommend because they have an Android app, and the best part about it is that you can download it from their website by bypassing Google Play. There's a page you can go to where you can download an APK directly from Apple.
Yeah,
So
Apple Music on Android.
Yeah.
It used to be horrible. It used to crash all the time, and it just was horrible. Then they fixed it, and now it's pretty good. And I just inserted my SIM in here.
Nice. Is it working?
Yes, it's working. Oh my god.
Nice. Make a call. Make a call.
Yeah, I'm using one of these SIM adapters. Oh, this is okay, let's make a call. Brother, I'm gonna call you. I didn't want to put my brother's name. Oh, it doesn't have my contacts. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to get his
Do you not
contacts.
know his phone number?
Of course not. Does anybody know anybody's phone numbers anymore?
I know
My- My brother knows every one of his friends' phone numbers because he doesn't have cell phones.
My mom just canceled guitar because my teacher canceled because of Corona.
Uh-oh.
Rip.
Well, that's what everyone, like all the tech companies in your city, are telling people to work from home. So,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
speaking of Corona, guys, I mean, I'm still auctioning it off. Hand
That
sanitizer.
sucks.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's another example of recycling. So this piano behind me that I have, you might not be able to see. Apparently my parents bought it for my sister years ago so she could play piano, like at Costco, like a really old piano. And then years later, I think it's like a decade and almost 2 decades old now, it was starting to fail. The screen was kind of having some issues. There was a lot of dust. And then my parents wanted to throw it away. But then I saw that I was able to use it with my computer. And then what I started to do is disassembling everything from the component to go inside and actually repairing it, cleaning it. And I was able to repair the screen, and I was able to remove all the dust and everything. And it works just fine. And this is like 20 years, and I was able to repair it just fine. And now it works for my computer. I'm able to make music. So as long as you're able to repair those things, there's no reason why you should actually throw it away.
Yeah, reusing a superior technology takes efficiency, no energy. So yeah, so he's fixing computers with parts from 3 or 4 different countries. Oh, and Rex also says boo Apple. Sorry, it's Commodore fan says boo Apple. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'm going to
fall off. All right, we're gonna do our
there.
kind of a wrap up here. So final words. Let's see. If Pizza, if you're not there, then Quint will do your final words first.
So just reuse as much old electronics as possible. If you've got an old iPod, do what I did. Buy one of these Bluetooth adapters. Pair your Bluetooth headphones to it. And then all you have to do is you have to set up a Windows VM to install iTunes on and format the iPod. And then you can just use Rhythmbox or whatever and import all your music to it. And it works fine. And you have a music player that is not internet connected and works perfectly fine. And it works great. Yeah. And if you have old phones, use them for other purposes. Like I know World of Linux uses his for music. That's perfectly fine. It's a great use for an old phone. Yep. I use mine for ROM testing. Just recycle as much and reuse as much stuff as possible.
Yep.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened there.
All right, Pizza, go ahead and give us your final thoughts.
Reuse an iPhone 4, and I'm calling my brother right now. Let's see if this works. You're on speaker!
This is your brother, though. Who knows what he's going to say?
Greetings.
Hello? Can you guys hear him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Yes.
You're live on Switch to Linux.
You're live on Switch to Linux. They can't hear you. Okay, anything else?
Hi, Pizza's brother.
Hi, he
Pizza's
said
brother.
He said hi, Pizza's brother. 2 people said that.
What's your favorite color of the alphabet? Yes or no? If false, please explain why.
I actually can't hear it.
Pink and purple polka dot. He asked, "What's my favorite color of elephant?" Is that what he asked?
Alphabet.
Hey, I could barely hear it, man.
All right.
All right.
Bye, brethren.
All right. World of Linux. What's your final thoughts?
All right, so I'm using a lot of old technology. So I got a lot of audio equipment that's from the 1980s, like specifically 1983 and stuff. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm reusing. I have like an old Mac that I just replaced it with a SSD. I have like an old computer right there which has Windows 7 that I'm using from time to time whenever I need something. I have like old hard drives. I repaired this piano which is over 20 years old to try to reuse it. Really, it's definitely possible to repair stuff. But the new technology that we're making now is way smaller, and it's way more difficult to repair. So if you can find old technology, it's probably better than new technology right now, other than the performance, just because of the repairability, unlike new devices, which we're kind of going through there, and you can't remove the battery or anything. So if you have old technology, keep it.
Yeah.
Okay. It might actually be more useful than you might think.
All right. So, what I'm going to say as my final words. Oh boy, we have a couple fun final words. First, reduce, reuse, recycle. Second is I will be streaming on my other channel here in 1 hour, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the next great apostasy. And third, in the time we have been sitting here, there have been 9 new cases of coronavirus, and they are moving closer to State College. We have our first one in Washington, D.C. So maybe they will quarantine Congress. They need quarantined. Oh, man, it's 3 cases hit Washington.
How many of those were in Washington?
These are actually showing up as, quote, Maryland, USA, but it's kind of right next to Washington, D.C. So
I'm talking about
3 cases just showed up. So.
Oh, I thought you said deaths. Never mind.
No. Just new cases. Just new cases.
Okay, good.
So we had new cases.
My city's in a panic. My city's like a ghost town now. Even NBC says my city is a ghost town. Like at least we have good traffic finally.
Yeah. So you have, as of right now, you have 51 total confirmed cases. 40 of them are active.
What?
One of them is recovered and 10 of them have died. So
yesterday there was like 20 or 20 less. There's like 30 cases yesterday.
Yeah. So it's 51 confirmed, 10 deaths, 1 recovered, and 40 active right now.
Holy.
There's still only 2 in my county. But my county is probably one of the biggest counties in Georgia, so I don't know exactly where they are. Hopefully, they're far from me.
The
My county-
Kirkland County Pizza, just north of you, they have 18 additional cases, 1 death,
Kirkland's
0
not a county.
recovered in 17. What's that? Well, it's
What'd you
listed as a
say?
county here.
The city.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's listed as a county here.
It's a city.
Yeah.
Why is that's weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Huh.
map's not super accurate. Yep, still just
Oh,
2
yeah,
confirmed
you know-
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
No, it's probably not.
It-
You know, the thing is, it's probably not Atlanta. Fulton County is more than just Atlanta.
Yeah,
Actually-
the
I
map
feel like
kind
it
of
wasn't-
puts them kind of inside the belt loop.
Yeah.
Actually, I just looked it up. According to Cairo 7 News, which is like a local news source, there's 70 cases, 51 in King County, 18 in Snohomish County, and 1 in Grant County. And
Yes.
there's also 11 deaths, which means 2 people have died since yesterday.
Yep.
I was actually in
Yeah.
class, and I read an article about coronavirus death that was only a minute old when it came out.
Wow.
So I'm
there's
hoping
Colorado
that
got hit. Oh man, the middle of nowhere, Colorado got hit.
Huh.
I'm hoping that the people who got the coronavirus in my county are in unincorporated Fulton County and not in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they're quarantined too, so it's not a super big deal. And there's only
Man.
2.
There goes my idea of going out in the middle of the boondocks. It even hits the middle of the boondocks. It's like literally hit the middle of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. There's like nothing there.
By the
There's
way,
one guy's like, I got coronavirus out here.
Tom, I don't have permission to view the message history of the quarantine channel.
Okay, that's what Quint
Yeah,
said
I
too.
said that
So
too.
we'll get it fixed up here.
I could fix it.
Yeah, let me know if you don't. Let me know if you have access or not.
Yeah, it's
I don't
Have access.
yeah.
You don't. Okay.
If you make the TFH patrol like admin for like 10 minutes, I could fix it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's. I'll cover that when I'm done with my next stream, or
Okay.
as soon as we're done on this before the next one, so I don't forget it's all admin. So.
All right, I
All
need to
right,
download some apps onto this iPhone 4.
All right, well, have fun. VLC will allow you to do some music stuff without Apple Music, if that's an option. So Anna Rita jumped on. Greetings, Anna Rita. Reuse stuff. Don't go overboard. That's right. AT&T is terminating most of its domestic workforce to outsource everything. Recommend switching to other services that aren't quite so heinous. Like which one? They're all heinous. Once again, why is everything in our world become like voting for the president? It's like just pick whoever you perceive is going to destroy the world the least. Sell replacement parts for iPods and eBay. You know what else they sell on eBay? Hand sanitizer. If you can find it.
On Amazon?
Tom,
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
do you like the SanDisk players better than the iPods?
I do not like Apple stuff, so generally I'm going to say yes. Although the little clip SanDisk ones, they do have some bugginess to them, but I'd rather deal with the bugginess than deal with anything else.
Yeah, I just had this one laying around, and so it's fine for what it is.
They will not be able to hear you while he feeds the kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quinn,
there's gonna be no sound.
Have you looked into putting something box onto your iPod?
Oh,
What'd you say?
Rockbox?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah,
Rockbox.
Yeah, yeah, I put that on there.
I
It was
wish
actually-
I was thinking about getting an iPod just for that.
Yeah,
I can
Rockbox.
ship you one. I have a ton.
I'll take one.
I don't.
No, it's
I
okay.
haven't done that. I haven't had much success getting it to work, but for what it's fine. The Apple interface is fine, and it works fine with Rhythm Box. Sorry, with Rhythm Box too. As long as you format the iPod using iTunes, you can load the music on with Rhythm Box, and it's fine.
I just
There's
realized
really no point.
the camera is broken on this iPhone 4.
Well, that might happen if you tear it open from the top.
Yeah, yeah, but I did put Rockbox on this thing, and now it just died of the battery because I didn't charge it in a long time. It's like old.
Do I still have quarantine misspelled?
Yeah.
Hey, in my defense, we did put that up, what, like midnight or something last night, my time? I don't know.
It was 10:30 my time, so it was like 1 for you.
Yeah, it was late.
You
Other thing,
replace the E in like it's core antine instead of core
Yeah.
entine. So
yeah. We'll get
also, Pizza, how's CenturyLink fiber? Is it good?
oh, it's amazing.
We don't have CenturyLink. Isn't in the South, so I was curious. Our only providers down here are we have Google Fiber, we have AT&T Fiber, and AT&T DSL, and we have Comcast. That's pretty much it. So it is an ISP monopoly down here.
So what's it like
AT&T
having
owns
more
CenturyLink.
options than one? What's it like having more than Comcast?
Well, you have Tom. Don't forget, you have Windstream too.
We don't. No, we don't.
Oh, you don't? I mean, Verizon is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Verizon has a maximum download of 700 kilobit per second.
That was a joke. I was just joking.
Yeah, I know.
Quaint House Fedora.
Yeah. It's good. I actually have noticed that it's been freezing lately.
I know. That's why
I've had to complete.
What?
All right.
I've had to completely restart my computer because it's been.
All right.
freezing.
I'm going to. We're going to wrap up the stream here, so we will catch you guys later. News tomorrow. It'll be fun. But anyway, so I'll hang out with these guys for a while afterwards. So anyway, I'll be on in about 50 minutes on the other channel at Our Walking Christ. So we're talking about the next great apostasy, and I'll go ahead and drop that link back in the chat again, so you guys can come on over there if you're interested in that. And we will catch you guys later.